The ships move down at evening, on waters flowing out of Nouth and Douth and Newgrange. They glide along our fields with a few high lights, electrifying dusk.
Those sailing ships were kept in excellent condition by the crews. The crews were worked hard, decks were scrubbed hard after cargo was discharged, and the other kind of form of ornamentation were evident. I particularly remember one as a lad down the quay. There was this fine three-master going to sea, and she had a lovely gold-painted ball on top of the mainmast.
The crew they would have would be about captain and the mate, and about two or three sailors, about 5 on each of them. And the tonnage would be about 200 to 180 ton. I'd say they'd be in the region about 100 foot. I remember the name of two of them, Denver Moore, and I think Denver Ness was another one.
These vessels were approximately 200 to 300 tons. With the result, there were quite a lot of these vessels, and they moored right up as far as St. Mary's Bridge. Now, they discharged their coal cargoes into Martin Butterley and Company on the North Quay, and they also discharged into Murdoch's on the South Quay. It was interesting the way the dockers discharged in those days. The coal was filled into bags by the dockers, carried across the roadway, and into the sheds, and they walked up along these very large planks to get right up to the roof. Hard, back-breaking work. There's a story told, a very old harbour manager there called MacDonald, and he used to tell the story about Martin Butterley when he was a young man, and that when the sailing ships were coming up the river, that in order to get the agency from them, you see, each vessel had to have an agent in the port. And in those days, they got 5 shillings for so doing as agent. And there were several agents. And Butterley was a good swimmer. And Martin Butterley used to actually strip to the waist and swim out to the boats. And once he went on board, he got the agency. So whether those stories are true or not, I'm not quite sure, but old man MacDonald, these are the stories he told me.
My father went away to sea as a young man, or a young lad, at 15 years of age, on a ship called the Ethel, which was owned by the McGuirk family of Baltray. The picture is at home in my house now. The Ethel, she was a topsail schooner, 2 masts with topsails on her. And in those days, schooners had no engines in them. And as far as I can make out, she's going up the Bristol Channel.
Go fetch me a pint of wine and fill it in a silver hussy, that I may drink before I go a service to my bonny lassie. The both rocks on the pier of Lee, full loud the wind blows frae the ferry. The ship rides by the Berwick Law.
be 1935 or 36. There was this fine sailing vessel, but she had no motor, so she had to be towed in and towed out. So old Captain MacDonald, he said, you come with us. And we set sail towing this sailing vessel, towing by the Moy, onto about a mile or thereabouts out at sea. And then we let her go, gave a few toots on the whistle of the Moy, and we headed for home. And looking back was a beautiful sight. On blue water, there was the sailing vessel heading out with some of the crew up on the riggings, letting go the sails. Well, it just reminded me of books I read and carried my mind away to foreign parts. Now, the last I saw, we were heading in river, crossing the bar on the Moy, and she was heading out towards the horizon with all sails set. A beautiful sight, and one not easily forgotten.
There's some are bound for New York town, and some are bound for France. Heave away, me Johnny, heave away. There's some